We have sound now? Do we have sound? Let me know if we've got sound. That was such a good introduction to today's stream as well, but we didn't have the sound. Now we have sound, I hope. Let's start that again. Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess. We do these live streams every single weekday, and we talk about what's going on in the markets. We did a live stream last Wednesday and it's got almost 1,000 views on it, so please make sure, if you are enjoying these live streams, to like, subscribe, comment and interact with the channel as much as possible, because it really helps push us out to more people here on YouTube. We've been doing these live streams for almost a year now. It's going to be a year on the 7th of December. We've done them every single weekday with not a single day off, so make sure, if you appreciate that, to interact with today's stream. Hobbit says, you've never once said hi to me and I've been with you for 3 to 4 years. Not you, Jess. You've been doing great and keep it up. Anyway, I hope Jay will one day say hello. You've got no sound. We've got sound. We're back in action. Hello, Hobbit. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I believe you're talking about Jordan there. You've been following Jordan for 3 to 4 years. Well, he'll say hi one day. There's a lot of people in his chat. His live chat is a lot more active than mine is. But one day, we can hope. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin now and see what is happening here. Bitcoin is currently trading, let's refresh this page quickly, at $34,325, down slightly within the last 24 hours, down slightly within the last week. We will be analysing the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream and discussing this, why this is happening, and what the price of Bitcoin looks like it could be doing within the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the biggest gainers here. Osmosis is up 23% within the last 24 hours. AR is up 12%. Rune is up 10. Rune just seems to be there pretty frequently, and that's a project that's been around for a very long time now. BTT up almost 10%, and in terms of biggest losers, we've got Axie, we've got Engine, we've got Miner, we've got Binary X, mixed around 5% for the majority, then Binary X down 9.23%. Real fluctuations in the markets for the last 24 hours. Let's quickly take a look at the price of Bitcoin and see, let me fix this a second. Let's quickly take a look at the price of Bitcoin and see what is going on here. What happens every time I do that? There we go. So, on the 4-hour chart, you can see we had this huge move to the upside of the excitement around spot Bitcoin ETFs, and then we've seen some sideways action. Now, I would like to talk about a scenario which I see to be pretty likely right now. This is obviously all my own analysis, nothing is financial advice. This is all speculation. This is a very volatile asset here. What we saw here was a sharp move to the upside and then a gradual decline. Then we saw a little bit of a retracement there. Then we saw a sharp move to the upside and then a gradual decline. Sharp move to the upside, gradual decline. We then obviously had that dump. Now we've had a sharp move to the upside. That line looks so silly. But maybe it is time now that we are going to see a bit of sideways action, if not a slight move of decline. And what we would get then in that scenario is if we go to the weekly chart. 1 week, here we go. You can see we have a major level of support from the previous bull market, and that is at the $28,736 level. If we see some sort of retracement at these ranges and see some sort of retest of that previous level of support, previous level of resistance, maybe not even that level, maybe the $32,000 level would be good enough. If we see some retests of those zones using those previous levels of support as a resistance, and no, previous levels of resistance as a support, that would build a lot of confidence for the price of Bitcoin. This $32,000 level has been used as a level of support here and here, and a level of resistance here, here, and here. So seeing us use that as a level of support would be build a lot of confidence for the cryptocurrency space. JB says, please more decline, needs some more time to accumulate. We've had ages to accumulate, but you just never feel like you have enough. We will always say that. We will always say, please, a little bit of a retracement. We will never feel like we've got enough Bitcoin. But what we could potentially be seeing here is similar price action to here, where we see sharp move to the upside sideways, 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 and then we get hopefully some bullish news. The reason we wouldn't get this is because too many people are anticipating and trying to front run that Bitcoin ETF. That's why we're seeing so much bullish price action in the price of Bitcoin at the moment. There's also speculation that BlackRock are buying some Bitcoin ahead of their ETF launch in the hopes that it gets accepted expected. Lots of things going on right now in the cryptocurrency space. We also have that Bitcoin halving coming very much closer and closer as the days go on. Let me pull that up. Bitcoin halving countdown. We will get one of these on the Crypto Saving Expert website one day, but we've got a huge list of things that we want on the website right now. Bitcoin halving is in 154 days, 23 hours and 53 minutes. So it's predicted to be on, what's the date there? It was April 26th last time I looked. So what happens here is here we go. The 3rd of April 2024 is the estimated Bitcoin halving date. That has got closer. So what happens is a block is approximately every 10 minutes, and after 210,000 blocks, a new Bitcoin halving occurs. So the 3rd of April is the current estimation for the Bitcoin halving. Real exciting things typically come after a Bitcoin halving, so make sure to do your research on that. Understand that if you don't already. But typically after a Bitcoin halving in history, we've seen a nice bull market. Obviously, we have other factors to consider. It is not that simple. Let's take a look at some other factors here. Let's take a look at what Robert Kiyosaki is saying. This is the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He is saying we are going to see the greatest crash coming, and he's recommending a mix of Bitcoin, gold, silver. So let's take a look at this article here. Investor and popular author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, disapproves of the traditional 60-40 bond stock split as a viable investment strategy for the coming year. He said, forever and ever, financial experts have promoted the idea smart investors invest 60-40, 60% bonds and 40% stocks. In 2024, 60-40 investors will be the biggest losers. Since Feb 23, the author has been sounding the alarm bell about a giant crash coming for reasons including the massive dollars printed by the Federal Reserve and the recent increases in interest rates. Now, on this topic, I would like to talk about this article here. The Treasury have said they are going to borrow $776 billion in the final 3 months of the year. Now, this is actually lower than expected by Wall Street here. We are seeing strategists at JP Morgan Chase said they expected the announcement to be about $800 billion. This is still a huge amount of money. And then the Treasury announced in July its heightened borrowing needs. It set off a frenzy in the bond market that saw yields hit their highest levels since 2007. So there is still some warning signs going off here. If we take a look at the DXY, so this is the strength of the US dollar against a basket of 6 other fiat currencies. You can see here it's having a bit of a sticky time, some sideways action here, not really sure which one is going to succeed the most, the bulls or the bears right now. Some sideways action is in play. We are keeping a close eye on that to see what comes here. Is this a sign that we are going to see a reversal? It has been in an uptrend since July this year. We do keep a close eye on this because Bitcoin has a inverse correlation with the DXY. So when DXY goes up, typically Bitcoin's going down, and when DXY goes down, typically Bitcoin is moving to the upside. So let's take a look at what's going on in this article. Let's talk about Robert Kiyosaki's opinion of the big crash that is coming. So since February 23, the author has been sounding the alarm bell of a giant crash coming. He believes gold, silver and Bitcoin will be the major beneficiaries of the crash. In his February tweet, he predicted that gold could increase to $5,000, silver to $500 and Bitcoin to $500,000 when the faith in the US dollar eventually crumbles. Now, we did all see at the start of this year, Bitcoin's price absolutely rocket every time we saw some fear in the traditional banking system. We saw a couple of banks nearing bankruptcy or even having to dissolve, and that caused the price of Bitcoin to increase pretty significantly at the start of this year. And it showed us that Bitcoin does have the power and does have the what's the word here? It's built this kind of reputation that it can be used as a hedge against the traditional systems. And when traditional systems aren't working as they should, people may actually be starting to realize they can move into Bitcoin and be their own bank and have self-custody. So we've seen a real shift here. There are a lot of people in the markets that are fearful of what would happen to Bitcoin if there was a financial crisis, because Bitcoin came out of the back of 2008's financial crisis. We've not really seen it act during a huge financial crisis yet. There are some people that say, come on, look, we saw what happens with the banks at the start of this year. People will move to Bitcoin as a safe haven. That's the side I'm on. But there are some other people that say, look, it's a really risky asset. When people get scared, they're going to be pulling that out and moving it somewhere else. So there are two battles to this. We don't have any data really to show what Bitcoin would do in a huge financial crisis, but we do have little snippets of data like what happened at the start of this year to give us a little bit of reassurance that Bitcoin could survive something like that. I really do personally believe it can, but obviously you need to do all your own analysis and come up with your own opinions. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Hello Robert, thank you very much for tuning in. Hello PG and JB, thank you very much for tuning in as always. Joshua Dan says small dip or a big correction. Jason Smith says we all know what happens to crypto when the money machine gets underway. We did see this in 2020 when that big thing happened. We saw the price of Bitcoin performing very, very nicely. And in 2021, Monkey Nut says XTP is due a pump. Hit the like for XTP. And Once a Wild Pony says whoever wants to get in silver, $22 would be one. Let's take a look at the price of gold here quickly and see what's going on there. So gold, US dollar to the ounce, you can see here, let's delete all of these lines. We had a huge breakout there. Let's take a look at these lines on the daily chart. Huge increase for gold since October the 5th. This month has been October for gold there as well. We are in a specific range. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at the weekly chart here. We've got a definite level of resistance here that gold is struggling to break through. We are looking at that zone there. We're looking at around $2,080 there as a level of resistance, but this is definitely something to be keeping an eye on. Bitcoin is commonly seen as digital gold. I believe it is. Let's take a look at what is going on here in this story though. Bitcoin's price outlook. We've had October. We've had that move to the upside. Do you agree with Robert Kiyosaki? Do you believe Bitcoin, gold and silver is the way forward? Or are you investing in traditional assets as well? Let me know that in the chat. It's a very interesting one here. Things could be changing. There is a lot of fear in the economy right now. A lot of people worried for what can happen in the next couple of months. I'm personally trying to hedge against that with Bitcoin. I know a lot of you guys in the chat are as well. Let's take a look at the next story here and see what else is going on. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at this one here. So we've got, here are 3 ways hackers are stealing your coins according to BitTrace. So in some cases, the scammers attempt to increase their credibility by claiming to be supported by major exchanges like Binance. So what's happening here is investors who complain that their coins suddenly disappeared despite their strong sense of security may have downloaded fake wallet apps. We need to be really careful when we are in the cryptocurrency space. We've come here for self-custody. We've come here to manage our own funds, which means we are responsible to make sure that we are not giving access to our coins to hackers or malicious actors, and we just need to be really careful about that. I'm going to drop the link to that in today's chat because researching and learning about how to keep your cryptocurrency safe is one of the most important things to do in the cryptocurrency space. Let's move on to the next article here. Unibot Telegram bot suffers token approval exploit and price plunges 40%. So Telegram bot Unibot has suffered a $600,000 hack less than a week after another bot was attacked. So a Telegram-based trading bot called Unibot has suffered a security breach due to a faulty router, with some users' funds reported stolen. Blockchain security platform PeckShield first reported the incident on Tuesday. Shortly after, the Unibot team confirmed the report in a Twitter statement, admitting that a vulnerability in their new router contract was exploited. We experienced a token approval exploit from our new router and have paused our router to contain the issue. So a huge amount of funds taken there. As I always say, when it comes to these hacks in the cryptocurrency space, this is a new industry, and when we are a new industry, we are going to face headwinds like regulation and like hacks, and they are things that we just have to deal with if we want to be new to this industry. We get all the benefits of having those altcoins that increase by 100, 200%, 100x, 200x, maybe even 1000x. But with all those benefits, There are also some problems as well, and that is regulation concerns, that is these hacks. You can't just have the smooth ride of being new to an industry and getting all of those massive gains. We also have to be aware of the problems in the space as well. But as time goes on, these hacks will I think they will become more few and far between. Fingers crossed, we learn from our mistakes, we build upon them, and we get better as an industry. Let's continue into the next article though. Before we continue actually from that point, if you are interested in development, or you are a developer and you want to learn more about the Web3 space, about Web3 and blockchain technology and becoming a blockchain developer, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. If you go to the courses section here and you go to blockchain development, you can see we've got courses on what Solidity is, and we've actually got courses here on what a reentrancy attack is, how a hacker takes advantage of a reentrancy attack, and how to avoid having those vulnerabilities within your own smart contracts. And we've got more courses coming out in the near future which talk about other attacks, how you can prevent your contracts from having those vulnerabilities, and how hackers take advantage of them. So really interesting courses there. Make sure to check them out. If you haven't already, sign up to Crypto Saving Expert Plus. We are building and building and building to create the best cryptocurrency platform out there, and we would really appreciate some support. So please make sure to like today's video, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Let's take a look at the next story here. The UK, right, let's talk about this one. We've got two articles here talking about UK regulation. Now, we've all seen the troubles that cryptocurrency has had in the US with the SEC regulating many different cryptocurrency companies, and we saw the UK mention a couple of years ago now that they wanted to become a cryptocurrency hotspot, and we've seen many different changes since then that haven't really been aligned with those goals, in my opinion. So what we can see here is the UK to introduce legislation to regulate crypto by 2024. So they are looking to regulate cryptocurrency. We are hearing from the UK Financial Services Minister saying, "I am grateful to all the firms and other interested parties that engaged so constructively with our consultation. The learnings gathered from our engagement have been invaluable for further informing our approach." Minister Griffith also further reiterated the UK's ambition to become a global crypto hub by providing the necessary regulatory clarity to invest and innovate, and where customers have the protections necessary for confidently using their technologies. So what we're seeing here is they're saying, look, we are still on a mission to become the cryptocurrency hotspot. Despite those FCA laws that came in at the start of this month, they're still saying this is their mission. Now, we have seen a win in terms of in RM, because the UK did propose at some point to regulate cryptocurrency in the same way as gambling, but the update from the government on Thursday could demonstrate that it remains on course to drive innovation into the UK, with the government stating it does not see regulation of cryptocurrency the same as gambling. That was a really important point there. That was something that kind of ruffled some feathers within the cryptocurrency space, because it really devalues the value of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency if they're just going to label it the same as gambling and give it all of those same regulations. So there's two major articles about the UK regulation on the Crypto Saving Expert website. You can read those for free, so make sure to check them out. Go to cryptosavingexpert.com, hit that news tab, and read through all the different articles there. We've got one last story today, and then we're going to deep dive into the price of Bitcoin. Matt says Rishi is bullish on crypto, the banks are not. Jason Smith says the UK's regulatory direction on cryptocurrency is predictable as plotting a meme coin. The regulation from the FCA that came into the UK on the 7th of October this year was very, very broad and very, very tight. It made it very, very difficult for cryptocurrency innovation in the UK, and not even just in the UK, worldwide. If it impacts UK users, UK citizens, it can actually be breaking those FCA rules. So there was a huge problem there, a huge stump on growth in the UK space, and that is something that I think we need to change. Hopefully we do see some changes with that regulation. Hopefully we see some more acceptance of cryptocurrency in the UK, because the regulation is really stifling growth, moving people out of the region. It's not what we want to be seeing here. We want to have that first mover advantage, and it's just not what we're going to get with that regulation, in my opinion. We can see here, X says it is worth $19 billion, down from $44 billion last year. So when Elon Musk purchased what was formerly known as Twitter, he paid $44 billion for it, and now they say the company valuation following their name change, their rebrand to X, is $19 billion. So that's a significant loss there for Elon Musk. But We'll see how this plays out. We'll see if he can bring this back. Twitter, it's an interesting platform. It has changed significantly since Elon Musk purchased it, but they've still got a long way to go, clearly, with their valuation dropping by more than 50% there. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin, though, and see what's going on here. I did lightly talk about this at the start of today's stream, but please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. We are looking at the weekly chart here, first of all, and you can see how significant that $32,000 level was. We used it as a level of support back in February 21, and then during May, June, July in 21, and then we've used this level as a level of resistance back in June 2022, April, and July 2023. We have now broken up above that. We've closed that $35,000 CME gap, significant levels there with a huge breakthrough for Bitcoin. This move to the upside was off the back of the optimism around spot Bitcoin ETFs and the amount of people trying to front run those acceptance of those spot Bitcoin ETFs. What we are now seeing here is a little bit of hesitation. We're seeing a little bit of a pause here. What I would like to see at this point in time is a confirmation bounce of that $32,000 level. I know that's not what we all want to see, but a confirmation bounce of that level would just give us that confidence that it is acting as a level of support once again, and we can count on it if we do see some further reversals in the future. Now, whether we are going to get that is a different story, because people are trying to front run the spot Bitcoin ETFs. They're trying to get in before the acceptance from the SEC, the potential acceptance from the SEC, we should say, and trying to buy in as much as possible, because if these spot Bitcoin ETFs get accepted, we could see a huge run to the upside. If they get rejected, we could see a huge dump to the downside. Now, right now, it's highly anticipated that they are going to get accepted, so people want to take advantage of this opportunity. With fear around the general economy, with Robert Kiyosaki, the potential that the spot Bitcoin ETFs have is it's clear. It's clear the opportunities that it would bring and the price impact it would have. Hopefully we do get a decision on these soon. A lot of people are anticipating we will actually get a decision this year, but the final deadline for the SEC to respond for the majority of these ETFs is in March next year. But we are still paying close attention because they've been instructed to re-review the Grayscale ETF application, and that could really bring forwards the deadline for the SEC, because the SEC, in my opinion, aren't going to be accepting Grayscale's ETF before accepting BlackRock, Fidelity, and other major institutions in the US. But we will keep a close eye on that. If we do see the acceptance, make sure to come to Crypto Saving Expert YouTube, because we'll be jumping straight on a live stream to watch the price pump together. It will be an amazing day for the cryptocurrency space. We also have some major news tomorrow, interest rate announcement tomorrow at 6 p.m. UTC time, I believe. Let's take a look at the markets here. If we go to the news tab, what time is it in here? 1st of November, we are going to see it at 6 p.m. UTC. Now, is UTC, I always get this mixed up. Let me search this to BST now, aren't we? Oh no, the clocks have changed back, aren't they? It is UTC time again. The clocks changed back in the UK this weekend. So that is at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, 6 p.m. tomorrow. We are going to see what the Feds are going to do with the interest rates. Let's quickly recap that a second. So the interest rates are increased from time to time to try and reduce inflation. But what we are seeing here is interest rates have been increasing, and that is so bad for the stock market and for the cryptocurrency market and for any investment market, because if interest rates are high and people aren't borrowing as much money, they have less liquid cash, and they're therefore moving it away from risky assets, or what are seen as risky assets, like stocks and cryptocurrencies. Now, we are seeing now that it's highly anticipated we are going to see no change in the interest rates tomorrow. Now, that is brilliant, and that's the news we want to see. Even better, we would have wanted to see a move to the downside, but this is probably priced into the markets right now that we don't see any change. So if the interest rates do get increased tomorrow, we could expect to see some really negative volatility, and if they get decreased, we could expect to see some pretty positive volatility. But at the end of the day, with the price of Bitcoin specifically, what we've been seeing with the interest rate announcements is we see a huge amount of volatility on the 1 minute chart, loads of liquidations, loads of people chopped out their trades, and then we tend to go back to the price we were at prior to the announcement, and that's what we've seen in the last couple of interest rate announcements. That's what I'm expecting here again, but who knows with Bitcoin, it does surprise us from time to time. It's pretty interesting right now. The markets are heating up. Thank you very much for everybody who has tuned in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. I appreciate all of you for tuning in every day and speaking in the live chat. It's a lot more fun when there's an active live chat. So thank you very much for tuning in once again. We will be back here tomorrow with another update. So thank you very much for watching and goodbye.